On Second Shot, we tackle 2 new headlines every week to find out what kind of wisdom the world is dishing out today. And we want you to be a part of that. When you see a headline you want to take a second shot at, or if you're looking for advice, or just want to tell us what you think of the show, email us at secondshotcast@gmail.com. If you like what you hear, rate us on iTunes. This helps us move up in the ratings so more people will see us. And if you want to hear more, subscribe to the show so that the new episodes will get straight to you every single Friday. We love you. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
There's a lot of news in the world today.
News that might surprise you, startle you, upset, or maybe impress.
News that's not always for the faint of heart.
That's why the man who failed his way to success, Heath Oakes, is stepping up.
Tackling today's headlines with ignorance on fire in a way only a millennial mogul can.
Take off your sport coat, grab a beer, and enjoy the conversation.
This is Second Shot with your host, Heath Oakes.
So we're blessed to have the Marcia back again.
Ooh, you said it right.
I did, right? I got a question for you since the Texas State Fair is going on.
Oh, yeah.
I have a feeling you touched none of that Texas State Fair food, huh?
No.
Whoa, hold on. None? It only comes around 30 days out of the year.
None.
25 days out of the year.
I buy bottles of water. I'm like, I eat before I go.
Okay.
So you none of the fried Oreos.
Not even one?
You can't
you
even
don't
like
pick something off the
like,
big Tex
do you
Choice
think
Awards?
you would get like really sick if you ate any of that?
I probably would.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yes.
Because you ate so clean and
Yes.
good, like for so like it's like
shock.
like your body would be like a shock.
Oh,
Like in
Reject it, yeah.
mine would go in shock without it.
Oh.
if I like ate all
Oh God.
like plants, like my body would like start shutting down on me.
You're like, what's going on?
we haven't. I don't know if we've talked about the State Fair on the show. Heath, you going this year? You usually
I
go, right?
really could care less about the fair.
Okay.
I'm sure we go, but like, I honestly, I don't understand the hype on it. Like,
It's one of those
when I
things.
go, I like going to the car show.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, they have a good.
yeah, I
They
like
got
the
some
car
neat
show.
stuff in there, like prototypes and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah, I like that kind of stuff. But like, I don't know, it's dirty to me, and it's kind of just, I don't know, you know, like the games are all rigged. It's so expensive. It's like it's so outrageously.
It is.
Like it's.
I know.
And like I don't like I like fun rides. Like I like going to Six Flags riding the big roller coasters.
Right.
But something about a whole bunch of people slapping rides up and down over and over,
yeah.
like a lot, like just kind of make me
It's
go
scary.
Yeah, and then they're all rides just meant to make you sick.
Yeah.
Like I don't like to get
I did
dizzy.
the slingshot one.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that. I was the stupid one.
Yeah. I just don't like just the sick. Like they're all just
Yeah.
like, oh, I want to get you sick and dizzy. You know,
Yeah.
like I like fun, thrilling rides, like
Right.
the Titan, the roller coasters.
That are
But
secure.
Yeah.
yeah, but well, and it's fun.
true.
It's not just oh, I'm gonna sling you around and get you as twisty
Yeah,
sick
because
as
they
I
don't
can.
have enough room.
Yeah. So it's not my thing. I'm sure we
Oh,
go.
man.
I'm sure we'll go, but it's definitely not my. It's not anything I have to go.
I'm
I'm
okay.
gonna go because at this point I will have gone. When this episode is released, the Texas OU game this weekend,
Yeah.
though.
Ah.
I'll be there, so that'll be fun.
I'm looking forward to the stampede of emails we get after people find out.
No,
you're
they're
not a
gonna
State
rip me.
Fair
They're
fan.
gonna rip me.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Secondshotcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
That's us, folks. Yeah, let
They're-
us know.
They're gonna rip me hard about that. I have a feeling.
What
but,
are your State Fair traditions?
But the State Fair thing's just not my. That's not my.
I feel like
Alright.
once you've been there a few years in a row, then you're kind of like, I've been there, done
Same
that.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I appreciate that neither Matt or myself seem to be willing to jump in here and go, no, hold on, that's not the way it is, guys. You've got it all wrong.
I mean, I'm not going to defend it. It's there are terrible things about the State Fair, but I'll go and get a corn dog.
It's
you
a
bet.
sight. Yeah, you go get a corn dog and you
It's
walk
the novelty
around.
of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, or
That's the way
Marcia
it
gets her
goes.
fried Oreos. Or,
Yes.
Yeah.
Double
Bet-
fried.
Tear them up, huh?
Double fried,
Dip
double
them in a little
stuffed.
ranch.
Now they have
right.
that fried butter.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm
that
like,
sounds like a heart
what?
attack
The
waiting to happen.
fried
It's
butter.
interesting what they come up with, like the creative concepts of
Yeah.
food that they outdo each other
Oh,
the
yeah.
next year. Yeah.
That's the thing for me. Go get one fried thing that you're like, my God, who would eat that? I'll take that one thing and then I'm out. I'm punching out. Give me the fried butter and I'm leaving for the year. That's it. I just want to try it. I gotta know.
Jenny and I will like find like one little interesting thing or something and get it
Yeah.
and like take a bite or two of them, you know, but like not
Sure.
like
Not the
like-
whole thing.
Yeah, we're not gonna sit there and like pile down
Right.
2 or 3 fried Oreos.
$12
Yeah, not gonna
for.
happen.
and then immediately eat a salad to counteract it.
All right. Well, now that we've properly hated the State Fair, our first headline, yes, here it is. Utah football fans find $1,060 destroyed in shredder. 2-year-old is lead suspect. According to Twitter user, I know. According to Twitter user @BenBelknap, he and his wife had been saving up to pay for University of Utah football tickets in cash. As they pulled out their money, the cash was mysteriously gone. and that mystery was solved when they eventually found the envelope and the cash in the shredder. Yep. The 2-year-old shredded $1,060, but Ben Belknap tweeted. The Twitter community got involved with suggestions that the couple could get out some tape, and another person stated that mutilated currency can be redeemed by the U.S. Bureau of Engraving and Printing. He joked that his son, tall for his age, is grounded from all fun.
2 years old and grounded.
2 years old.
They left the shredder on, which is not smart.
Right. I hate to say this isn't on the 2-year-old. Of course, a little bit of it, but at the same time, like you have to have plugged in to shredder next to a 2-year-old.
The 2-year-old saw a piece of paper, which was an envelope,
Sure.
and stuck it in the shredder. They actually were being smart. They
It was
didn't
fun.
look inside of
It's
it.
like,
yeah,
You're
it is
lucky
funny.
you-
Yeah.
Out of all the things, I hate to say $1,000 is minor for things that got shredded, but man, you've got running motorized blades next to a 2-year-old. That could have been a lot worse.
Yep.
Like, that's not so bad, but
I would have seen
It's
like
rough.
Brighton like sticking her shirt in there and being like zipped
Oh,
up in
nice.
it or something.
Yep.
You know, like she would be like,
who knows?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
but it's fun for a 2-year-old. But what do they know, right?
that had to be a blast.
Grabbed an envelope and, hey, they probably saw mom or dad do it.
I'm impressed that how did they think to look into the shredder? Like when I empty my shredder, I just take the top off and dump in. I don't.
That's what I was thinking.
Look
How
at
do you
it.
know there was money in the shredder? Or there
I'll
was-
bet they were. I mean, I bet he was emptying it. I mean, you shred $1,000. That's some serious. You know, that's
Yeah,
a lot in the shredder. I bet he was emptying it out. I was like, "This is awfully green. What is this? There's a lot of dust in here." Well,
You know what I take on this is a couple of things, but I also appreciate because they were saving money up for a football game to
Right.
go to buy tickets for a game. What I appreciate too is the old school, true and tried way of when you want something, you just save up for it instead of putting it on credit, getting yourself in debt because
or
you think,
GoFundMe.
yeah, or GoFundMe, yeah, exactly.
yeah.
You know, do something to, you know, in today's world, we put ourselves in, you know, we talk about, you know, a healthy diet or the way we eat and treat our body.
Right.
Like financial wellness is almost just as
It's important.
important. Like, I mean, it's just as bad as Americans on eating. I really believe so. I mean, we feel entitled to that we deserve to go to the football game, that we put it on credit, that we can't afford.
And then you can't pay the bill.
And you can't pay your bills, or you can't, you know, take care of your family with life insurance because you go put that on, versus the old true way, which is, look, we cut things back, save, and then we can go and treat ourselves and not put ourselves in a financial unhealthy state. And I think in today's world that financial wellness is something that people need to take more serious.
Well, everything's so easy. It's like you can apply for a credit card at 15 and get
Yeah.
a credit card. And then you think, oh, just swipe. And then you pay the consequences later when the bill comes in. You're like, oh, what did I just do? Right?
Yep.
I don't think they have that integrity to build. It's the parents.
Yeah.
Think of the parents today.
Yep.
It
is true. So true.
It's easy to get carried away, man, when you're looking at numbers on a screen
Yep.
and like let that define everything. And again, on the other hand, it's money. It's a very real thing in this world.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, mad respect to the people who are like, we're gonna, you know, every paycheck or whatever, we're gonna take out $20 or whatever it was, we're gonna put it in this envelope and we're gonna get somewhere. Like I there's something to that doesn't happen anymore.
And you don't have to make a ton of money to actually just to be the, you know, my friends always joke because they say, you know, even at 18, 17, whatever, he goes, like, Heath always had money. Like, even though it's not like, I mean, I was waiting tables, you know, and you know, not making a lot of money, but they're like,
Yeah.
you know, they were, my one friend we always call Overdraft was his nickname because he stayed in overdraft. And I was always the response. Even I was 4 or 5 years older than 4 or 5 years younger than almost all than a lot of the friends that I had, because I always was with older people basically.
You're an old soul.
Yeah,
That's it.
and so I'm 4 or 5 years younger than all of them, but like I was one that I always took care of the house bills, you know, because we always lived together, and I would make
Nice.
them when they got paid, like give me pieces of their rent because they would blow their money.
You were teaching them
Yeah.
how to.
and they're like, well, Heath always had money, even though I didn't make. I waited tables,
Right.
You know, I didn't make a lot of money, but like I had a little system. I get done waiting tables, and like if I made $60 that night, that next day I took $40 deposited into the bank, and I kept $20, and that was my cash, and I'd leave my money in the bank, right? Like I got the cash out of my hands immediately,
Right.
into the bank, to where you know, back then I didn't have a credit card or anything. I had a debit card, but like my goal in my mental accounting was my cash was what I
Cash.
used,
Right.
you know, and so
And
what
cash is king.
oh guess what and guess what this weird thought is if I spent that $20 because something unfortunate happened, I would go pick up a shift to wait tables instead of digging into it.
What
Weird.
a concept.
Isn't that
What
weird?
a concept.
That's strange.
And that's the thing. In today's world, it's 10 times easier for everybody not to have an excuse to make extra money. Uber, Favor, all of these.
All from your phone.
All of these things you can do to make extra money. That if you want something, go get do it on the side. You can do it when you want to. They're all there. There's no excuses to get into a spot that you're in a bind because you overspend or overdo beyond what you're supposed to be at. Now, I'm not one of those Dave Ramsey type people. I'm not one of those that everything needs to be saved, put aside. That you don't spend a dime. You live a very meek, miserable life.
You want to live life.
Yes. But you don't spend what you don't have.
Right.
Like that's the difference.
Yeah.
I believe there's a middle ground between the Dave Ramsey and now Dave Ramsey's approach is 100% correct whenever he did it, because in the 80s when interest rates for a home was 18%.
It's different times.
Look, my house would be paid off for right now if I had to pay 18% interest.
Right.
That's stupid. But when they're 3-4% interest, you can make more money with your cash.
You can slack. Now, like getting a car now is 0% interest.
Yeah. And it's tough. I'm 26 years old. I do not have, nor have I ever had, any kind of credit card.
Yeah.
Which is a mistake.
You got to have one.
Yep, arguably having no credit is worse than having negative credit, which to me,
I found that out too.
There's a lot wrong with that, but I'm not going to get into that. The way I see it, I'm like, look, I've always backed up everything, and that's the way it is. Now, that's not the world we live in now, and I need to get on board with that. But yeah, I was one of those people. Like I still kind of do this on occasion where I got an envelope, which is some cash in it, and every time I go to the bank, I just take out 20, and just stick that over there. I'm not going to think about it. Like, I don't know, something to it.
But you got to understand, from their point of view, is you've never been given the opportunity to have that to know if you're actually going to make payments.
I would agree, but man, I took on a lot of debt for college, and I'm like, hey, I'm good for that. I'm paying that off.
Okay,
that should go somewhere,
that's helping your credit then.
Right.
Yeah,
and
so that is helping your credit.
I know.
You should have a credit score with that. But I mean,
it's just a financial lesson here. Yes.
It is.
No, you're right. You're right.
No,
you're right.
but honestly, this is something that I think that I want to get the message to everybody on this is you need to take financial wellness just as serious as anything else.
Right.
I think it's important for you and your household, whatever it is, to get serious about understanding the basics of your finances. You don't need to be this financial advisor guru.
True.
You just need to learn some of the basics. Like I use only a credit card. Because I get the points because I pay my credit card off every month. I don't use my card for what I can't afford.
That's where I need to be.
Yeah, that's all I do. I don't use my card to buy things that I can't afford. I use it just like a debit card.
Yep.
I pay it off every month, and I make money on mine. Now, I'm a very, very small percentage because most people won't do that.
Of course.
But I take advantage of it, and I use my points, and our vacations are free.
American Miles.
Yeah,
Right?
it's great.
Oh, yeah.
But you got to know you, though. If you can't stop yourself, then that's not what you need to do. I can, and we don't have a lot of time to get into everything I'd want to, but I just more so want to bring the awareness that financial wellness is something you need to do. There are tons of tools. If you're looking up for anything to help with your financial wellness stuff, make sure you look for nonprofits that have financial wellness stuff. Like there are websites and financial tools that you can sign up for that are nonprofits all over the place. Don't use the Ameritrades and the all of that just yet for it because they're always going to be trying to sell you something and sling you away. But Google financial wellness assessments for nonprofits. Find one that's a nonprofit, and it can help you kind of put you on a track and a coaching tool to getting a better financial wellness. And I think it's key for your kids to see. And for something to leave behind as well, that a financial wellness is real, and it's a real thing that obviously, finances is one of the biggest killers of a marriage too. So financial wellness is key.
It's important, yeah. And that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad,
Yeah,
that's a good book.
Love
Yeah,
it.
And
One of my all-time. If you've never read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, then you're missing out.
That's right. Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I agree. So I hope you take control of your finances today, and don't leave $1,000 in an envelope next to a shredder for a 2-year-old to take off with. Is all I'm saying. So be back in a minute for the second segment of Second Shot.
He's a suit and tie kind of guy with deep Southern roots. Heath Oaks hosts more of Second Shot coming up on RNCN.
To all of my friends in the great state of Texas, if you have not taken advantage, I have a way to save you a ton of money. I have saved over about $3,000 in the last year, and I have no hassle. Go to energyogre.com, put in the promo code SECONDSHOT. Now listen, promo code SECONDSHOT, and you're going to get a free month just for signing up and saving a ton of money. So don't be crazy. Stop sitting around talking about, is this the real deal? And go do it right now. energyogre.com, promo code SECONDSHOT, and a free month. Thanks. Go get it now. Run.
Ready, aim, fire. Second Shot is back for another round on RNCN.
We're just spitting so much fire that you got the control room smelling like smoke, and Matt's in there like...
The board's burning up in here.
I don't want it to seem like we're running we're not running a tight ship around here. We are. But yeah, something's going on in the control room.
Defective equipment.
Smells like electrical fire. So if the show cuts out at any point while you're enjoying it, you know what's up. Yeah.
Well, we'll keep an eye on you, Matt.
Gosh.
Thank you. Yeah, please look out for my safety.
Yeah.
Somebody has to.
If I see smoke coming up behind you, I'll let you know.
I'm afraid the fumes are going to consume you. You're going to pass out. We're going to be like, all right, Matt, play the music, and nothing's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm a good captain. I'm going to go down with the ship.
Yeah,
I'm in here.
You are, yeah.
Now, you know what's interesting? You said you don't know sports stuff. See, I would have totally guessed you would. I mean, you didn't ever play sports?
No. I ran track. I wouldn't count that as really
no volleyball,
sport.
Nothing, basketball. You're like so
tall. A little
tall.
stint at volleyball, but I wasn't good at it. So.
That you come across as very athletic.
I am now in my older years.
Okay, so you weren't. So really?
Yeah, I wasn't as a kid.
Really?
No, not at all. But when I got older, I mean, it was just like I started doing yoga and weightlifting and running, and then I started challenging myself. Like, how far can I push myself?
So were you tall as a kid?
Oh yeah. I had a size 10 in fourth grade, and I was 5 foot. My mom was like, "You're gonna be tall."
Yeah. So was it like that thing that you were like really tall, but like you just hadn't grown into it yet, and that's what happened or something?
So at fourth grade, I had, like I said, I was shorter with like duck feet. They're like size 10, which I still wear today.
Yeah.
Duck feet.
It was. As soon as I hit ninth grade, it was like, whoosh, I was 5'9" since ninth grade.
Yeah.
So it's fourth and ninth.
And yeah, see, I would have because you look athletic. You're like tall, like you were like a volleyball or basketball player. No,
I wasn't good at volleyball. I was real lanky. Didn't have coordination.
Yeah.
I did track. I wasn't good at it. I just stunk at it. And my parents tried to put me in ballet, tap, and jazz. I couldn't dance. I was actually smart. I was actually a nerd. So I loved school 4.0, even when I was in college for nursing.
Sounds like me.
Loved school. I love to learn. I'm a student of life. But but as I got older, I'm like, ooh, bring it on. Like I can now do a headstand on a paddleboard in water.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Which I could never have done that back in the day.
Wait, hold on. A handstand on a paddleboard in water?
Yeah, with my head on the paddleboard and my feet in the air on the water.
On the water.
On the water. Okay. Yes. I was like, anybody can do a handstand in a pool. Come on, that's not impressive.
On a paddleboard.
On top of the paddleboard in the water.
In a lake or a beach.
That's pretty impressive.
That's very
impressive. Let me impress, Marcia.
I did it when I turned 40, and it was an epic birthday present to myself.
Oh, wow.
I was like, yes, you can do it at any age.
Anybody can do it.
Were you into any sports?
I played baseball like a lot of kids did. I played Little League, and then I played soccer all through high school and college.
I played football in 7th grade, and then I grew up and stopped playing games. I was. Oh wow, that is you doing a handstand on Instagram. Look at that. Well done. Handstand. I was the fat kid. I hated sports because I was the slowest kid on every team. It was horrible. I hated it.
There's a position for that guy in football, though.
What's that?
Line.
I was
stand there and be big.
I was right guard. Yeah, like the deodorant. Yeah. But I was B string, which in my school was 84 kids in the B string team, and A string was 10. Yeah. So you were either on the team or you basically weren't. Yeah. So that was the deal, and I made it one season, and I regret that still to this day. I'm like, I should have stuck with that. That would have been good for me. Like that would have been good for me to like work through it, work hard, like get it. But I was in 7th grade and I wanted to play video games, and now I'm in podcasting. Our first headline, second headline of the show: why kissing up to your boss could backfire at work. Going out of your way to overly ingratiate yourself with your boss, aka kissing up, may not be the most attractive quality to display in the workplace, but there's no denying that being proactive about getting your boss on your side can have some positive results. For the short term. According to a recent study in the Journal of Applied Psychology, twisting yourself into a pretzel at work to curry your boss's favor may give your career a boost, but spending that much energy on trying to be liked or appear capable to your boss comes with the added risk of a kind of burnout that could hurt your career, professional reputation, and other important ways. To be specific, researchers at the Oregon State University found that employees who engaged in regular kissing up to their boss also demonstrated a depleted sense of self-control, more frequent slacking off, and in general, a more deviant behavior in the workplace because the daily effort needed to flatter, win over, or kiss up to one's boss. They found that these employees who did this the most often felt depleted, which manifested itself in other, more negative ways at work. You're bending over backwards.
I think that bosses can sniff that out if you're always kissing their butt.
I think the good ones can.
Yeah, the good ones can.
The good ones can.
And the good ones are very few.
Yes, that is true.
The good is very few.
All right, Heath, what's the spin here?
Well, I mean, I think just in talking about working in work environments and stuff to remember to do that is, we overlook what it is to be and how to how important it is that your coworkers and the people that work there like you is just as important as your boss. I think people overlook that. See, like, people don't realize that. Name any of you guys, tell me right now, how many of you ever worked with somebody that was a kiss up to the boss and y'all liked them?
Oh, never.
Nobody.
Nobody.
No.
Nobody likes the boss kiss up, right?
Even the employees can sniff that out.
Even employees can sniff it out. The underrated thing in a workplace is working to get the coworkers and everybody around you to be on your side and to be on your team, like and to have everybody kind of. It's not that you're trying to win a popularity contest, but it's just like those people who kiss up to the boss, they will step on everybody they work with to impress the boss.
Right.
And you don't understand how important it is that those people to be on your side, because you can't ever do, like, yourself personally, the depleted thing is because you're having to do all the work hard because nobody helps you, because they don't trust you, because you're stepping on them to get the boss. And how you don't get depleted and how you don't get burnt out is to be a part of a team and to have people know they can count on you and you can count on them and they help you out and you don't get overburnt.
Right, but some of those people that kiss up to the boss, they don't have respect for the other people on their team. It's all about them. So their teammates, the same thing. They're like, forget this person. Like, we can tell you're kissing up.
That's the thing, is a kiss up is all about them. Like, somebody who kiss up to their boss, all they care about is them.
Yeah. And if you work with a team where you're all doing it together and then you have respect, there's a respect between the boss and the employees. It's better when you can work as a team to do something for the boss where you're not kissing up.
Yes.
Like, it's one thing if it's the boss's birthday or something, you do something nice.
Yeah, that's stuff you should do. Yeah.
Right.
But that's different than kissing up.
Like, consistently doing things to where you're kind of angled at the position for you.
Yeah.
Or if something doesn't happen, you think you're on their good graces just because, like, well, I gave them this or done this for them.
Yeah.
So if I slack on this on the job, they'll be okay with it.
See, I think there's two sides of the camp. There's those people that do go overboard on making all their, like, to be a friend to everybody. And so they kind of always get stepped on because they want to be a friend to everybody. Then there's that person that is, screw everybody, I'm going to step on them, I don't need them. And it's like, there's a middle ground. Like, let me tell you something. Office politics and stuff, and like having everybody, if you can have the majority of the people you work with genuinely, they don't have to say, oh, I agree with all of Marcia's views and all that, but like they have respect for you. That's going to be like hugely positive for your career.
Well, it's going to go a long ways.
Absolutely.
Because people can recognize that. And I would say authenticity wins at the end of the day. People can sniff out whether if you're working with the team or just for themselves.
Yeah. And the ones for themselves, you always get left out.
Yeah, you always get left out. And they actually have it's their own, like, personal thing. There's something going on to where they feel like they have to do that. They haven't quite yet worked as a team yet.
Yes.
I always feel like you're like, you're not a team player just yet.
But that's how you also get burnt out on stuff. When you're an all-me person, if you're sitting there and you're the person that always has to pull the all-nighter. Now, is there times you have to pull an all-nighter? Yes.
Sure.
Are there times yes. But if you're the one always having to do it, this is that time that if you're that person, you're going, oh, that's me. Let me tell you something. You're a all about you person. Here's reality. I'm going to hit you with truth.
Ooh.
You are the it's all about you person. That's truth, because nobody's willing to help you. Nobody's coming in to your aid with it because nobody sees you as somebody that would do that for them. And that's a reality. I'm just telling the truth.
Right.
That if you're the person that always has to be the one doing it, people don't see you as a team player.
Right. I mean, there's one thing to be successful.
Yes.
And you want to get up to the top corporately and you do it the right way. I think genuinely your bosses can see that.
Yes.
But if you're always kissing up, I mean, the bosses, the good ones can
Yes.
sniff it out. The bad ones, who knows what they take with it.
Yeah.
Maybe they are like, I like that person only. Because we do have those bosses on the flip side that when the person does kiss up, they're like, well, I like that person because they've kissed up and everyone else, you haven't done anything for me.
Yeah.
So.
But the chances of that person being there forever versus the majority of those coworkers.
Exactly.
And if you're tied to that person so hardcore and they're gone, you're left, you're done.
Yeah,
count it out.
That's why I've always landed. It's short-sighted. You're not
is.
playing the long game because that's great. You're tied to this one person. You do everything they say. Man, what if they get in a car wreck tomorrow?
Or they get fired.
What are you going to do? Because now the company doesn't exist because they're the boss, and suddenly you've got a bunch of people who you can't network with and you can't lean on for potential, job opportunities or something because none of them, you didn't get along with any of them. Like, play the long game. Get along with everybody. It's a lot more fun.
and
I
you
like that, the long game.
Yeah.
And you watch and let one of them get promoted to boss. Now you're really screwed.
Oh my gosh, wait till they learn
Assuming
how to
it's
be
not
a
you.
boss.
Yeah. And so I think that's what I think people underestimate in general, that being somebody that others look to that, hey, look, if we got a team project, I want you to be on my team. Like, you want to be that person that people want to have on their team to work with because, again, I'm not saying going around kissing up to everybody. What I'm saying is have enough emotional quotient to yourself, some EQ, that to work the room almost per se, like to you don't gotta
establish
go
connection
yes.
relationships.
You don't have to go get stomped on by people. You don't have to be the
Right.
person that is so meek that people stomp all over you or anything. And you don't stand up for yourself. You stand up for yourself, and you do that. But to learn to have more emotional intelligence to understand people in general. It's not that you have to have this deep relationship with everybody. You just
Right.
It is going to do you much better in the long run if the majority of the people that can say they worked with you, it was pleasant working with you. Not they were your best friends, not that you were such a
Sure.
whatever. But hey, it's pleasant working with Marcia or Zach or whatever. Like
Right.
that's huge.
Yeah.
No, it goes a long ways.
Yeah.
Like when you can learn that for yourself and be a unit with the company or corporation that you work with, and it makes you a better employee, more valuable. And also, say you do promote to boss, you have the respect from everybody else if you're going up the ladder versus being that person is always trying to please people or even step on their toes trying to get there. Because like I said, people can sniff that out.
And that's going to spill over to your personal life if you're somebody who is a me person. It'll come
That's
across
true.
personally and professionally as well.
Real quick, if we have somebody out there who's listening to this and going, "Oh my God, I might be that person. What do I do?" any advice towards maybe helping reach out to other people, become more of a team player?
Well, you've got to start by just doing that, by making it an intentional effort. It's not, a lot of those people will go, well, that person's just an extrovert. That's easy. No, I mean, it's really not. A lot of people make it an effort. Just ask questions. Here's the best thing to do to start not becoming a me person, which is go into conversations with looking to know about somebody versus tell about yourself.
That's what I was going to say. Listen to people.
Listen.
Just
ask
listen.
questions.
Yeah.
Ask questions, listen, and go into conversations truly, genuinely wanting to learn about somebody.
Sure.
And not tell about yourself. And I think that's the easiest first step to becoming that person that is not all about me. Nobody likes a me. So
Yeah.
we'll be back on the third segment of Second Shot in just 1 second.
Now that's what I call ignorance on fire. More of Second Shot with Heath Oaks still to come.
You guys have been listening to Second Shot and hearing us talk about it. You need to go pick up my book, Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. You can get it on Amazon in a paper book. You can also hear this beautiful voice of mine in audiobook style on Audible or anywhere you're going to get your audiobooks. Guys, this book took a lot of time to put into it, and I believe it can really be some life-changing stuff to help you on your path to success. And hopefully you're going to fail your way to success just like I did. Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. Amazon.com, Audible.com, audiobooks, paper books, everything. Get it, share it with your people, and I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Go pick it up today.
Kick off your boots or suit up. The choice is yours. Welcome back to Second Shot on RNCN.
So we got to. It kind of just came last minute too. That's going to be really cool. But we We got a couple emails and some stuff from the Second Shot Facebook group. So if you are listening, go to the Second Shot Facebook group, join it, and join in all the fun. It's a great community of people that are really kind of sharing and looking for some similar things. That obviously the Second Shot community of people are all people that are wanting to learn and grow and be better and try to do anything. They're not going to listen to this unless they're trying to be better.
Yeah, they want to motivate themselves. It's inspiring.
It is, and that's what's great about having the group and that community getting built on Facebook is that those people can come and ask questions and stuff and get some honest, genuine thoughts back from people. And I'm always gonna be shaming you for the ratings and reviews.
Hard shame.
So let's go do that now, please.
Go ahead, now. Please. We'll wait.
And I wanted to get to one of the emails.
Yeah.
Okay. This is from Preston Richards, and going as we were talking about last time. You and Jenny does that all the time. She was like, "I'm not gonna hit the microphone this time." And Preston, you started off on a bad note here. Thank you, Keith.
Oh, Preston, buddy.
Aww.
Keith Oaks.
Sorry, I still love you, Preston.
Oh.
But we talk about it with your husband, Keith.
Yes,
it's like Keith. I always get it. So he said, thanks for the help with this career path. The advice was helpful. He wrote in. He's a high school student and wrote in about a career question of something he wanted to do, and we answered it on here. And he said, I do have one more question, and that is, how has the podcast changed your life? I presume it helps many people as it did mine, but I'd like to know your side of it. Thank you for all your help and consideration.
It's a tremendous question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I'm trying to think of how it makes me stay consistent on my self-improvement more than ever. Because when you're consistently coming in and going to be talking about it,
right,
you've got to consistently be living it.
Yeah,
it's very difficult now I am that person. I know there's some people that can really be the opposite. But I believe that when you're somebody, like for me, if I'm going to be talking and speaking a message of some sort regularly,
you want to live it.
I have to live it. Like I can't be like Ziegler. I ain't said that. Like Ziegler says in a while.
Ziegler says the old Zig. Yeah.
He said it's impossible for somebody to consistently say one thing and live inconsistently like that. Like you can't consistently say one thing all the time and not consistently live that way forever. Like it's going to catch up to where you end up being it. That's why he was big on affirmation cards and things that you, if you tell yourself these things, like you're going to sooner or later believe them.
Your podcast is like an affirmation card.
It really is. And it's selfishly, and that thing is, it's a selfish thing because it selfishly keeps me in check, because if I'm going to talk about it and I'm struggling in that area, then it helps me focus on it and stay kind of on top of it. So I would say, honestly, Preston, the biggest thing has been that it has, I've always been into the self-development, but like I've always, like anybody with almost anything is, I would go through spurts. I'd be good on my routine for a while, and then something would happen and it would change it all, right? And then I would dial out, and then I would, have that event that you get down and go, why did I stop doing it? It worked so well and I stopped doing it. I got to get back to it, right? The podcast has helped be more consistent with all that.
Yeah.
Because I'm consistently coming in, recording and doing all that I consistently have to be.
You're keeping yourself accountable.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got to consistently have the fresh thoughts and thinking. And the only way to do that is by learning.
Right.
Yeah.
And you change and you grow.
Yeah.
And you learn from each podcast.
Yeah.
And each guest or whoever's in, our headline.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
You mind if I slide in an answer on this
one? No, absolutely. I want you to.
All right, so a couple of things. It's more than twofold, but to break it down, I think two ways in which Second Shot has changed my life would be, number one, the things I take away from it directly, the advice I get from Heath or Jenny or Marcia or any guest that's on the show, the conversations we have, the things I take away from it. I told Christine last night. She was like, I've been meaning to get this thing done. I haven't had time. I was like, no, it wasn't a priority. And she's like, oh my God. And I was like, I'm sorry. I just it's good advice. Like little things like that, little pieces of wisdom that I take away from it. And I think, man, that's totally valid. Like it matters. It goes somewhere. And the other way, this is penultimately, I think, the most successful show I've ever been a part of. I work in podcasting. it's a weird job.
Yeah.
It's a weird gig. My parents didn't do this. Their parents didn't do this. Nobody I know ever did this. So it's a weird field to be in, and to be a part of something that not only feels like it's successful but has a regular growth of listenership matters. It makes it feel like everything's important, especially when I had this great experience a couple weeks ago. I got on Facebook and posted something to the Second Shot page because it was 10 o'clock at night on a Friday, and I'm thinking about Heath Oaks and Second Shot, and I was like, you know what, I'll just, I was sitting at home and I rattled something off and posted it on there, and in like 3 minutes, 4 people had responded, and I was like, 4 other people in the world responded to me and what I said and my thoughts and my actions because of this show, and that matters in a way that like is difficult for me to describe. It's tremendous,
and it's like, good people. Like on
great people.
They're all like it's like. When we started this Facebook, we were like, we're gonna make sure and censor any bad. Like we've not even had to though. Like there's not even been a single.
No,
so you're attracting
cool.
your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Did you write your book before the podcast?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, because remember I met you
and
a couple years ago, then you wrote your book.
Yep.
And then I heard about your podcast, so I started listening to your podcast after I read your book.
I think the podcast, actually, we started the same exact month my book was released.
Really?
I think it was February.
Was it really? I didn't know that. I thought the book had come out a little while before.
No, I think it was literally that month that the book was actually released.
Because I remember following your Instagram and I saw you're like, hey, I'm doing Second Shot. Yeah.
Yeah, just started the same time. It was weird.
And it also exists as this wild archive of media, right? Like I think, man, someday my kids or whoever could go back and listen to all of this, and be like,
That's
wow.
That's what I love about podcasts.
Yeah, there's something to it. It's like writing a page of a book as you go. Yeah, it's really something.
I listen to them in the car. I listen to them while I'm getting ready to put my makeup on.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And I'm a junkie for like motivational podcasts. And as soon as I heard yours, I'm like, hey, this is a different spin.
Yeah.
Instead of just interviewing somebody, you get people's take on the headlines. I thought that was genius.
Yeah, I wanted to do something different like that because I got a couple of my podcasts that interview people that I listen to and like, but I can only kind of do so much of that. You kind of hear some. I love podcasts in general about everything. I love learning about it, and podcasts make it easy. I never listen to the radio. I mean, if I'm ever in a vehicle, I
don't either.
I am always listening to I'm learning something, and I may be learning about some weird stuff, but I just like to learn different stuff.
Yeah.
Variety's key.
Sure.
But you know what's? I wanted to bring this up is that it was just posted in the Second Shot group. This is literally off the cusp. None of these people know anything about it right now. Zach, Marcia, none of them.
Okay.
But it was just posted in it. But I thought it was super interesting and perfect timing to kind of ask it. But I'm not going to say the name because they don't. They're posted on the group, so I don't know if they want to say their name. But this is the kind of stuff you're missing if you're not joining the group, is this right here. Posted, been busy, crazy, missed a lot of the socials, especially the Second Shot group. He goes, I was in a meeting the other day, and the statement was made, stop incentivizing things people are supposed to do, and let's create incentives for the extraordinary. He goes, I loved it, and also listened to a counter-argument that the incentives drive behaviors that need to be encouraged. It was an interesting dichotomy of views of a seemingly simple subject like incentives. Thoughts?
Ooh, I like that.
Isn't it?
Man.
Because usually you're being incentivized to make you do things.
Yeah.
But for the opposite, for doing something extraordinary, I would have never thought of that.
Yeah, see, this hit me, struck chord. So I'm.
Yeah, wow.
So for the person who wrote it, I'm not going to reply on the Facebook group just because I'm about to tell you my thoughts
this
now.
Is it, yeah.
So you're going to get it now, which is, this is being in sales and stuff in general. Like I've been part of stuff that where they'll want to change a comp plan every year to try to drive the behavior they want. They want to throw a contest out every time they want some kind of behavior to be made, right? Some kind of incentive to get what they want. And I've always said that's the absolute worst thing to do. That will only drive short spurts of increases. Mm-hmm. You're skipping the hard part, which is you've got to truly make people see and believe the why.
Right.
Why they need to do it themselves.
Right.
Versus having to always throw, and I guess that it's easy because when I started my first business stuff, I was broke. Right. So I couldn't buy a whole bunch of stuff to give to people to get things. So I had to get really creative on just
you have to think outside the box.
Well, and I had to actually do, which was teach somebody the why. Spend the time to teach the why.
True.
To understand why they need to do it for themselves. Right.
Right. True.
And that takes time. That's not an easy fix.
No.
Throwing out a $1,000 trip is an easy fix because in 2 weeks you're going to get an uptick.
Right. True.
But it's not going to be sustainable.
Right.
You're going to always have to have that other little tag, that other little something to get people sparked. And it is I think in a sales organization or organization in general, if you have to have incentives to spur the behavior you want, you've got a bigger problem.
Right. No, I like I can't even say it. Incentivizing people that are thinking outside the box, because it actually helps them grow. Like, ooh, maybe I can do this. And maybe the company hasn't really thought of that, and then they needed that person to get to the next level. So I think that's genius.
Well, I agree with incentivize. I have incentives and we do stuff.
Sure.
But I don't do them to spark something I want done. I do it for the extraordinary, like he said. Now, I've never really had it into an eloquent statement the way he did, but I'm going to steal what he said because that's going to be my new thing of explaining it.
You're like, hey, listen up.
I am, because that's huge. It is so true. You can't, if you were having to swing incentives for your relationships, for anything, to get what you want, you're in a bad way.
It's like a bribe.
It is. It really is. And it's only going to be short-term fixes.
Right.
You gotta go, just to reward for what they're already doing for an extra deal, not to, if your intention is to get them to do an action that they're not doing, that is what they need to be doing, you're in a bad spot.
And everyone works and thinks at different levels. So it's just like school, not everybody can do, like, say, 5th grade math, at the same time. They learn different things. Same thing with this. This helps people think outside the box on their level and their creativity or what they could pull out of their hat. Like, it might inspire them.
Yeah, you want to be in a position where if you're a boss and say you want your whole staff to stay late on Friday and work or something, the short-term solution is, hey, I'll pay you all extra if you stay this one Friday. The long-term solution is figure out a way to get them to love their job so much they don't want to leave.
And you know what? It's okay to say, hey, guys, anybody that wants to stay, I'm going to buy some pizza. That's okay.
Yeah.
Because that's like that's just a little, like,
that's just being human. Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
I will work for pizza.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Because that's not gonna get people to really do an extra action they wouldn't do without it. That's just kind of that nice gesture. So there's a difference of just adding a nice gesture versus having to incentivize to get an action. If you have to tell your kid, I'm gonna give you $5 if you clean your room, that's a problem. They should just clean the room because they live in your house and they do it. You know what I mean?
They want to live in a clean space.
Exactly. I mean, I love that layout there, and I do believe that if you're in an organization, y'all are you're going to keep swinging pendulums back and forth. If you're having to change incentives to drive behavior, you need to just create incentives to reward the great behavior that's already happening.
Right.
Like it'll be long-term.
I love how
consistent.
you put it.
Yeah, I do too. I think I'm going to literally screenshot that and save that so I can get that down in my memory because I love the way that it's explained. And before we get out of here on this one, I want to kind of give them a little snapshot of your business, tell them where to find your business at, where they can find you at, to where they can look up to maybe see if your services are something they need.
Right. So my business is Plant Chicks, and we train women. So we help women rock out with their Brock out.
Yeah.
And we motivate women just on mindset and non-skill victories. We don't focus on weight. We focus on how it's all personalized to you.
Yeah.
So there's no one size fits all.
Yep.
But you can go to plantchicks.com or Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
And how do you spell it?
PLANTCHICS.
Yeah, that's what Plant Chicks
No
is.
K on the end there. Yeah.
No K.
Got it.
Yeah, and where can they find you at on social media?
Same thing. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram,
Okay.
Plant Chicks.
You can find me, Zach, at AppleZacintosh on Twitter and Instagram. I'm also on that Facebook group. I got to put together some kind of answer for that, for whoever that was, because I can't let them know, hey, we talked about the show. It's got to be something. I'll figure it out. It'll be great.
Marcia, I am grateful that you took the time to come out. I really appreciate it. I know that, you've got a lot of things you can be doing with your time to come on here and give back to our Second Shot group, but it's extremely appreciated.
Aww.
And I'm grateful to have you on here. Grateful to know you and Keith. And
thank you for having me on here.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So at Second Shot, cast@gmail.com, at Heath Oaks, at Ignorance on Fire. See you next time, guys. Love y'all.
You're listening to RNCN. the digital destination for premium talk radio.